Hey everybody, Geek here, and welcome to CoD Wednesday. The gameplay in the background is actually not online, like, per se, because since GTA 5 came out, I have not really played much Call of Duty. Mainly because, I don't know really, I just don't feel like playing it. I tried playing a couple of online games, but I really couldn't get through any games, like finishing the games. I'd end up rage quitting because of tryhards. Well, to me though, like, it didn't really feel as fun. So I decided to hop into combat training, turn on the bots to recruit, mainly because I put the health to minuscule, and veteran, or pretty much anything besides recruit, I'd get slaughtered. And I also did something even worse, which would make it a bit different. I turned off auto assist, or aim assist, whatever you fucking call it. So there you go, alien. No, you'd like that. You can laugh at me and see how bad I am at aiming. Aim assist, helping you aim all the time. Without it, you're shit. Anyway, this video is about my granddad actually talked to me about this. He said, "What's the difference between a geek and a nerd?" I couldn't really explain it, because to me, I know what a geek is. A geek is like the nerd, what people used to call nerds back in the day when they were first becoming recognized as nerds. Because the nerds these days are not the same type of nerds back in those days. Like, the nerds back in those days have been changed to geeks, if you know what I mean. So, like, I kind of looked it up on the internet. I'm pretty much quoting everything off the internet, because who doesn't these days? So pretty much just go back down into the origins of the word geek. In order to fully appreciate the modern geek, one must find the roots of geekdom. Back in the early 1900s, when traveling carnivals were popular, there was a performer called the Geek. His job was to perform bizarre and disgusting acts for the amusement of the locals. Notably, this included biting the heads off live chickens. Well, there you go, the very first known geek bit heads of chickens. The geek today, though, rarely bites the heads of chickens. Instead, a geek is somebody who is generally very knowledgeable, even to the point of obsession about a topic. So, like, they will be obsessed with, like, a main, like, if you go onto a topic that they, like, are obsessed with, you will not convince them of anything that they don't really believe about it. Like, they're honestly obsessed with it. That's a geek, though. Remember, geek. We're talking about geeks. Being a geek gained traction when self-adopted by computer programmers and other technical people, but has since become more mainstream. There are wine geeks, car geeks, so mechanics, I'm assuming, I don't know, and Lord of the Rings geeks, alien. each of which closely follows the miniature. I don't know how to say that word properly, so I'm just going to skip that. So follows just pretty much the whole thing of their chosen obsession. So for me, I think I'd be like a Pokemon geek. Let me know what you guys are, like, geek-wise. What is your obsession that you cannot, like, live without, like, you absolutely love to death? To further clarify, it's important to note that geeks are generally social. They have their fascination in what makes them unique, but you probably would not know of their geekitude unless they told you about it. So now the nerd. The word nerd was started in 1954 by a young doctor by the name of Seuss. Who doesn't know Dr. Seuss? In a line that read, "A nurgle, a nerd, and a seersucker too. If you don't wish to call somebody so trite a word as nerd, you can also call them a seersucker." Bit of a tongue twister there. The general connotation is an irritating, unattractive person. Thank you very much, Internet. Who may be brilliant, but whom chooses to follow on non-social pursuits. Well, that's kind of true. Another definition of nerd is a 4-letter word with a 6-figure income. So comparing geeks and nerds may share similar outward traits or not, but when you compare their approach to life, the differences become apparent. Nerds love using jargon or unfamiliar terminology in their dialogue, whereas geeks will use obscure references abundantly. For example, a nerd might say, "That's an overused Foley, the SD must be lazy." And then the geek would say, "Oh, the same thing, of the same thing. Oh, I love how Peter Jackson uses the Wilhelm scream in every movie." Geeks often take interest in the microcosmic details of life, such as noticing that your present situation is much like one from a news article or novel. Nerds will be seemingly uninterested in the details of daily life, being more focused on the macroscopic, such as the scientific possibilities of the future of humankind, sorry. So yeah, pretty much, nerds are unsocial, geeks are social about what they like. Compare the interests, you will know them by how they play. A geek may enjoy board games, film, and may follow and know every director, composer, obsessively. Tech gadgets, hacking, and techno music, they're geeks. They're like the overview of them. And a nerd enjoys solitary pursuits like programming and Second Life, or games like chess and Go. Let's go. That's probably, yeah. See, nerd. It works well with me. I like solitary things. Hence why I play a lot of campaigns and single players of video games. I just love by myself. I'm not very good with co-op sometimes because like they want to do it their way, and I like, yeah. Compare their social skills. So while they both have obsessive traits about their passions, they diverge when it comes to normal human interactions. So a geek has normal social skills, though they can be prone to being pretentious and long-winded, especially when the topic happens to land on their particular passion. Then they may not let you go until you explain exactly how this widget works. See, I'm part geek in that type of field because when I get onto a topic, I have to get my point across and know that you understand what I'm talking about and understand my point on that view. If you don't understand, I'll keep on going. A nerd is generally more introverted. They may know a great deal about exactly the same thing a geek is. Geek specializes in, but getting them to talk about it can take some time. Find out who they love. It's a universal truism that geeks can fall for anybody, though the reverse may not be true. However, nerds fall for only nerds. Well, depends. This may be a survival tactic, but nobody knows for sure. Discover where they work. While nerds and geeks are both intelligent, thank you, and educated, semi-thank you, there are some career paths that appeal only to one or the other. So, in addition to populating IT departments the world over, you can find geeks in artistic jobs like web design, graphic design, or even game design. You may find geeks behind the bar in your local record store. Kids these days be like, "What's a record store?" Is that like iTunes? Or pulling espressos at the coffee shop. So that you can find geeks there. But to look for nerds, they'd be working at look for nerds to be working as a rocket scientist or programming the software that the IT department has to manage. They may be an engineer or an inventor or even a brilliant recluse. What's a recluse? I haven't heard that word in a while. Who rarely sees the light of day. Well, that'd be me. I pretty much idolize myself away from the sun. You might also find them behind the counter at the last remaining video store. Well, the way they the way I see it is game shops will eventually die out because everything's eventually going to go to digital. So Get your hard copies while you can. So, enjoy the difference. Geeks, nerds, dweebs, dorks, twerps, dolts, and norms all have this niche, I think that's how you say that word, and all have something to contribute to the great world of ours. It's fun to laugh and draw out stereotypes, but keep in mind that unless proven otherwise, everybody has a value. Everybody has value. Whoops. Almost made that sound really bad. And also, you've got to keep in mind that most geeks are part nerd, and most nerds are part geek. Sometimes the line between is very fuzzy. And remember those two definitions from the Urban Dictionary? A nerd, the person that you will one day call boss. Thank you. And geek, the people you picked on in high school and wind up working for as an adult. Alright, well that's pretty much it when it comes down to geek and nerd. If you didn't fall asleep through that, congratulations. If you understood majority of that, congratulations. And yeah, hopefully you understood all that. There's the difference between geek and nerd. Now we just need a visual difference. Alright guys, I don't know if this has gone past the 10-minute mark. If it has, I apologize, but I will catch you guys next week. Goodbye.